Hey everyone, it is Monday again, and that means it's time to talk about results because we had quite a few this weekend. We had two BCSs happen. We had Germany and we had Rosemont as well. And then we also had WGP Yokohama, the big deluxe tournament. So there's a lot of results to talk about, a lot of deck lists to talk about, right? Especially standard, but we do have like V-Prem and Premium as well. And there are some pretty interesting results in basically every single format. So let's kind of jump into it. For English standard, let's start off with Germany, right? So we have a pretty balanced format. You just look at this pie chart. We have the two Gravidias and two Nirvanas, and then you have the Bruce, Bavsagar, Orphist, and Greedon. So pretty spread out. We have like a random Greedon. That's pretty crazy, right? The Greedon strikes again. Remember, in BRO Europe, right? Greedon came first, right? Pretty crazy. And then you look at the results. So first place was the Gravidia, and then second place was the grade 4 Bruce. And if you look at the name, this is Philip. So this is from Top Deck Heroes. So big congratulations there. And then third place, we had another Gravidia. And then fourth place, we had Orphist. And this was GG Mr. Rogers. So like content creator central in this top cut, right? We do have some of the list. So what... Well, again, thanks for Fuzzy for making these pictures. But I think now, because it's BCS season, people are a bit more secretive of lists. You know, because there is some tech that people want to save for, you know, going to Worlds, right? Getting that big World Final. So it's really up to players to share the list now. We do have some, and if we don't, I can only speculate, right? Luckily with Standard, a lot of these lists are pretty similar. If you've seen the Gravidia list, you've seen them all. If you haven't seen an Orphist list, hey, check out Thursday, VG Top Decks. Orphist is popping off right now, especially in Japan in set 6. So you're only going to see better versions of Orphist. But let's look at the list that were provided. So we have Phillips TDH's grade 4 Bruce list, and he was running not the Quen Lu build anymore. I remember back in BRO when I played him, he was running a Quen Lu build, but this time it just seems like a very normal and honest list, right? And it just did well, right? You know, it's a consistent, good list. Bruce does things, and people die. So very, very strong. And then we had the Greedon list that was in the top 8, and this is a list that only gets better, right? It's only getting better. I actually don't know who it is. They didn't have the name. It might be the same BRO person. But hey, you know, the same list gets better, and it's only gonna get better in set 6. So you might want to pick up your Greedon pieces if you haven't, and if you already have Greedon, then buckle up, right? Buckle up. It's it only gets better from here, right? Then in V, well, this is really funny, right? We have 6 Gear Chronicle, 1 Aquaforce, and 1 Grand Blue. So, yeah, it's a pretty one-sided format. Let's put it at that. I think it's just called Elul, right? Elul, nearly a full pie, right? Nearly a full pie. And then the top 4 results, we have Day Vect coming first with the Steam Maidens. Then second, we got crushing the meta Vaklis with the Ghosty build, and then we got Maxime Jalon with another Steam Maiden beating out Maxime Solemn, right, for that Worlds invite. The two Maximes fighting, all playing Steam Maidens, all playing Steam Maiden. Now we do have some of the list. So we have Dave's list. Dave's basically shared his list, so it's pretty cool. But if we want to look at the Steam Maiden list, this is pretty much the Steam Maiden list that we've pretty much seen everywhere around. Very straightforward. And then the next one we have is the Beatrice build. So why is Beatrice okay and not bad? Well, Beatrice does make a lot of attacks. In terms of attack power, like technically not super high, but you don't really need to go super high anyway, because Gear Chronicle does have good guard values. So you just have to just kind of poke until they run out of hand. But then how do you live when Gear Chronicle tries to kill you? Well, luckily for you, Ghosty does have big intercepts. And big intercepts basically mean there is less things to worry about when like they do their big turn. So overall, that's kind of how you can live with Beatrice, right? You can also do the same good old Grand Blue, just like rush down. But yeah, so this is a 12 draw build. Let's put it at that right. It's a 12 draw build, yo. And then the last one is the Aquaforce, and the Aquaforce is just kind of the Thavis is the same idea as before. Just rush them down and hope you win. Right, I think I read a comment from the person who posted this list. It's pretty bad. It's like, well, not bad, but it's pretty annoying when Steam Maiden goes first, right? Because they just cream you. But if you go first, you just try to cream them, and that's pretty much it. That's how it all goes down, right? So pretty funny. But yeah, otherwise, it's all Steam Maidens. All Steam Maidens. And then in premium for Germany, we had 4 Narakamis, 2 Aquaforce, and 2 Gear Chronicle. Basically, the top 3 at the moment, I think, in terms of deck power, right? When people think of the stuff that's broken in the format, it is these 3. And what actually went down is we have Dave Vecht again coming first with his Mystery Flare Dragon build. Then we had Maxime Solom, this time getting second. So Solom the Vanguard, right? Getting second place with his Irads. And in third place was another Eradicator, and fourth was another Mystery Flare Dragon. So basically just the 2 decks hanging out in the top. And then we can look at Dave's Mystery Flare Dragon here as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, you've got the good cards in it, and then he's managed to snag himself 2 of the PRs from Shop Challenge that a lot of us have been wanting to get, but due to some issues, didn't arrive, and he managed to get them, and he ran 2 of them in the deck, and would have served him very, very well. Right, so pretty cool. Right, let's move on to Rosemont. So, well, actually not Rosemont. This is the 4th place Mystery Flare Dragon build as well. So, actually, there is a G-Zone here, but I think the G-Zone is largely irrelevant most of the time, right? But yeah, this is the 4th place Mystery Flare Dragon. This one is kind of old. This is kind of an older build, I want to say, because it's still running, I think, the Gray Exhaust Dragon and, like, the Lishma. Yeah. But otherwise, you know, as long as the MFD goes off, it just goes off. That's pretty much it. It is what it is. You don't get a turn. You don't get to play, right? So, pretty cool. And then, yeah, here we go. We have Rosemont here for standard. Again, we have 3 Gravidia, 2 Flagberg, 1 Kyrie, 1 Prison, and 1 Magnolia. So, the Gravidias are still staying. It's just a very strong deck, very easy deck to play, and it's very effective too. But as you'll see, the results were 2 Flagbergs at top. So, you got James Aniga in first place. I've seen that name quite a few times in top decks. Then we had Gasha Dokuro with another Flagberg. So, Flagberg taking it big time in America. Then Daniel Tran with the Gravidia, and 4th place was Alex Kramer with the Kyrie. And then we kind of take a look at the Flagberg list as well. So this is the 1st place Flagberg list from James. A very straightforward Flagberg. This one just, you know, no gimmicks, just normal Flagberg. Get some soul as well, and that's pretty much that, right? You have some spiritual condensation, just make sure to get the cards that you want, and you're good to go. The second one is the other build of Flagberg, which is more focused on the orders and, you know, developing the pirate behind the Vanguard to make it, like, give it some on-hit pressure to be able to, like, keep on cycling back more and more orders. So yeah, two different builds of Flagbergs, making it in 1st and 2nd place respectively, right? And then we also have another list here. We have the 4th place Kyrie list, and it's just your good old Kyrie, right? Good old Kyrie, just multi-attacks, bum, and you're good to go. So now for the V premium portion of Rosemont. This time we have 5 Gear Chronicle lists versus 6, so slightly more balanced, right? Slightly more balanced. Then we have the 2 Gold Paladin and 1 Bermuda Triangle, and this one is actually Lupina Melody, right? Lupina Melody. So pretty interesting, And the top 4 was actually David Smart with the Gear Chronicle as well. And then we had William Ryford with another Steam Maiden, and Paul Ellis taking it with a Gold Paladin. I would be interested to see how they built this Gurgit, because I know a lot of people was hyping up the Holy Shine into Gurgit, but I think in this current format, you're just running old Gurgit because you need a ride Gurgit pretty much to kind of at least help you survive. And then we have Dustin Sooth with the Lupina Melody, and I'm really interested to see this one, but I couldn't find it. I know, like, we memed about a Lupina Melody list, like, years back, right? It's like, wow, look at the high roll it can do. Isn't that funny? And turns out it actually did do something, because, you know, one of the best ways to beat Steam Maiden is to high roll them and then just steamroll them, pretty much. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how this was built, right? How this was built. And David did post his deck list. We can kind of watch it together, right? And it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. So here we go. I can react to it with you guys. And look at this.
This is my Steam Maiden deck.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very cool.
From
very cool.
First place, BCS Rosemont.
Congratulations, first place. Great showing. Great showing.
I really like this deck.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Because it is pretty good.
100%. 100%.
I don't think I would change any cards in it.
I don't think you
I
can
liked all
change
the
it.
ones that I had.
I don't think you can change any cards. That's the thing. It's already perfect.
I think this deck is a very good meta call
Yes. Yes. It's a very good meta call.
because
It's
there aren't any decks that are better than it.
That's right. It's the only meta call. Right? It's the only meta call they can do. He's one-handing this pretty well, though. He must have a lot of training.
I like to play Chronojan as my starter.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I think he has a pretty good effect.
Nice. Nice. It's true. He has a pretty good effect. Well, look at that. Look at that swap at the end. That's not as clean as I thought it would be. But now comes the flex. Look at this flex. Oof. Look at that. Look at that trophy.
This card is pretty good.
It is.
It's a Steam Maiden.
It's great. Yep.
I don't think I will play this one because 5 just seems like too many.
That's correct. That's why he's called David Smart, because he's smart. Then moving on to premium, we have 3 Narukamis, 2 Acroforce, 1 Gear Chronicle, 1 Link Joker, and 1 Gold Paladin. No MFDs though, right? Because, you know, apparently when you play a high roll deck sometimes, you can low roll, and then you make top 8. That's what happens, right? But let's take a look at what actually made top 4. So first we had Jaime Alvarez finally getting that dub with ripples, right? And I think this is his first win. And I guess that's pretty good. I think according to his hat, Aquaforce is his favorite clan. So, you know, it's great to come first with your favorite clan. So congratulations. And in second place, we have the Narukami build from Ty Smith, playing Armor Break Dragon, which, if you don't know what it does, it gets a lot of power and a lot of crits just based on how many empty slots you have in the front row. So if a Ripple player has been making a lot of Excel circles and not really caring about what they're up against, hey, you might just get like 10 instances of 10k and 10 instances of 2 crit. You can get like 2 billion crit. Maybe you use this effect multiple times. It is CB3 though. It is CB3. But, you know, in premium, you have more easy access to counter charges. And then you can use the effect multiple times, right? It also comes with Sentinel Restrict. So if you let this deck get out of control a bit, then you might be eating a lot of damage, right? A lot of that. Maybe you should be running 40 over triggers to save you, but a bit hard to do that, right? And then third place, we had Ricky Liu, and then fourth, we had Albert Huang. My boy Albert, unfortunately missing out, right? But hey, you know, still more chances left. And I don't really think I have any of these lists because a lot of these, I think, like with Jaime, he's gonna make his own video. Ty, I know, said he's gonna make his own video too, so I'll be very interested to see how he built it. And then, you know, yeah, that's pretty much it. But we do have some of the top 8 decks. So first off, we have the deleter list here, Messiah deleters apparently. This is a funny list because I think like Messiah deleter has topped like some of the previous American regionals as well, so it just seems to be popping up every single regional at least once, which is quite funny. So overall, at least like a weird solid list that just does well, right? And then we have the Eradicators as well, top 8 Eradicators. This one is running the Superior Ride engine just to kind of pop off and get some high roll going, right? Especially the multi-attacks, even some Bobos as well to increase damage. So pretty crazy. And then we have the Steam Maiden list. Yeah, Steam Maiden list. Not MFD, but Steam Maiden in premium. And this one is pretty much like the V1. You know, like we saw Steam Maiden V do well. Guess what you do with premium sometimes? You turn that V deck into a P deck, add some other good cards, and you're basically good to go. Right? You're good to go. So it looks very, very cool. And just, you know, if you don't want to play MFD, you have another way to play Gear Chronicle, right? And then lastly, we do have the WGP Deluxe Tournament. There is some stuff to kind of talk about here. There's some stuff I found that's kind of funny, but also a lot of decks available. I'm not going to go through like the deck list for all of these or even the top 4 because there's just so many of them, especially since there were 2 blocks. So there's going to be at least 16 decks that we can take a look at. First, we're going to look at what top 8 did, and then we'll look at the winners. And there's just a lot. There's basically. So this is the Swiss the Swiss portion, what topped after Swiss. Bear in mind as well, there is a diversity cut, but I'll kind of talk about it a bit later. But yeah, first place in Swiss was Gamer's Dogma, taking it with Youthberg, Michu, and Gravidia. Now, if you don't know much about Michu, it is the new lyrical ride line that's been doing pretty well from that set, the new lyrical set, so probably look out for that, right? And then the Youthberg is running the old, like, not the old, but the TD version of the Grade 3, which is quite cool. And second, we have Flagberg, Seraph, and Nirvana. Third, we have Gravidia, Nirvana, and Bastion. Fourth, we have Overlord, Ava, and Kyrie. And then in fifth, we have Overlord, Bruce, and Gravidia. Sixth, we have Barrow Magnus, Overlord, and Ava. Seventh, we have another Youthberg, but this one running Skyfall arms. And Heroes, which is Dianos. And then Tamayura. And then eighth, we have Hazelit, Nirvana, and Dianos again. So let's kind of quickly... Well, let's continue. So in the B block as well, right? In the first place, it was the Gravidia, Flagberg, Nirvana. Second was Nirvana, Seraph, and Bastion. Third was Nirvana, Gravidia, and Bastion. Fourth was Gravidia, Overlord, and Barrow Magnus. And then fifth, we had an Ava, Overlord, and Bruce. Grade 3 Bruce this time. In sixth, we had the Kyrie, Ava, and Zorga, Red Zorga. And then in seventh, we have Orphist, Regis, and then a Leonorn, and then a Hazelit. And in eighth place, we had a Bruce, a Monster Strike, and a Nirvana. So let's kind of quickly go through and talk about, you know, diversity cut and some of the cool meme stuff that people have tried. With diversity cut again, if you go X0, you automatically get into the top, and then if you go X1, then they will place decks that haven't topped yet, like ride lines that haven't topped, and they'll get priority. So if you ran 3 decks that 3 ride lines or 3 grade 3s of the ride line, this is the key thing, 3 grade 3s that haven't been featured in any of the top X0 yet, you will get pushed up. So this is why, like, when you look at 8th place is most definitely gonna be in because of what you call a diversity cut. You look, they brought Heroes and Hazelit. This means that no one, it's quite likely no one else would have brought this, and they would have been prioritized higher than other people. Even the 7th place as well, and this is where the fun begins. They brought Heroes and Tamayura, which is, you know, no one else have brought, you know, not really big picks. Remember, also, if you bring you can only bring one of each nation. So if you bring Tamayura, that means you're not bringing Nirvana and Overlord, which are way more powerful in a way. Well, maybe not way more powerful, but more powerful than Tamayura. But because you don't take them, you have priority if you go into the X1, because there's less likely there's going to be a Tamayura in the X0s, right? It's more like going to be like the Overlord and the Nirvana. And then who's going to bring Heroes, right? So that's pretty much it. The only thing that they brought that other people did bring was a Youthberg. But if you look carefully, right, the Gamers Dogma team brought the TD Youthberg, while the 7th place guys brought the Booster Youthberg. They're actually different grade 3s, so it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. They don't count for each other. So let's say so basically this team brought 3 grade 3s that no one else in X0s brought, so they get infinite high priority, right? They infinite high priority, but that raises something pretty funny. If you want to sacrifice one of your ride line slots to run like the TD grade 3, you actually can, and that can increase your priority if you ever fall to the X1 slot, right? So that's just something interesting to talk about, and it's quite interesting that people are bringing things that just are really random to make it. Like these 2 guys, I can confirm as well, in A block, only 7th and 8th place got pushed in because of priority. Everyone else was X0. If you look at everyone else's team, it's quite meta. Maybe with like one deck that is slightly less meta than others. So if you look at Gamers Dogma, totally original, right? In the 3rd place team, it'll be something like the Bastion. That's less. It's gonna be like the weirdo pick, right? And then in second place would be the Seraph, right? Seraph technically not in the best place. Like things like Flagberg and Nirvana are definitely higher ranked than they are. And then in 4th place we have the Ava. That's kind of weird. And then, you know, like 6th place, for example, is we have the Ava and the Barrow Magnus. And then, you know, fifth place went full meta. Actually went full meta. I guess the weird one they have is the Bruce, right? Bruce, slightly less pay than others. Grade 3 Bruce as well, you know, there's kind of no difference between grade 3 and grade 4 Bruce because they still run the same grade 3, so that's tough. But then if we look at the block B as well, we can kind of see like the weirdo stuff at the bottom. So we have the Monster Strike, totally random, totally weird. That's definitely going to be increasing your priority. And then things like Leonorn, Hazlet again, right? Orphist Ragus for sure. Even Red Zorger as well. That's going to be something that's like kind of be a less pick compared to everyone else. So these are kind of like the strategy picks. But if you look at something like first place, they should be glad they went X0 because they brought like probably one of the most meta lineups is like Gravidia, Nirvana, and Flagberg. Right? That's super. That's kind of it. That's pretty much the talk of how things go. But let's take a look at who actually won. So the winners was actually for A block was Gravidia, Nirvana, and Bastion. Then second place was the Gamers Dogman team with the Youthberg, Michu, and Gravidia. Then third place we have is the Gravidia, grade 4 Bruce, and then Draconic Overlord. And then fourth place was the Hazlet, Dianos, and Nirvana. Right? So crazy. But then in B block, first place we had was the Ava Overlord and grade 3 Bruce. And then second place was the Gravidia, Orphist, and Baron Magnus line. Third place was the Gravidia, Flagberg, and Nirvana. And then fourth place was the grade 3 Bruce, Monster Strike, and Nirvana lineup. So pretty much all the standard stuff that we have for Japan. Some of the interesting picks as well. You know, Youthberg, Michu definitely kind of showing up a bit. Heroes, I think Heroes is just like the strategy pick, like more of a strategy, nothing like too insane. Like even, okay, to be honest, if they picked the deck, right, there was at least 2 teams that picked Dianos. Not only did they pick it because it was a strategy pick, but also because it can't be that bad. Right? If it was really bad, this guy would probably win like 0x and be a liability. You don't want that, right? You don't want that, so it's at least a deck that can be played, which is the takeaway from this. But other than that, that is the diversity cut in a nutshell. That is the WGP in a nutshell. And that is the entire weekend. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How cool is V Premium at the moment? Isn't that cool? I can't wait for that pie to become entirely LL. Alright? I can't wait. Maybe Spain. Maybe Spain will happen. We'll see. We'll see, right? See you guys in the next video. Alright? Bye.